How are we today? It has been a little while. I am here, I am sick, but this is my first chance of having the house to myself to be able to record this for a very, very long time. So even though I am sick, even though I don't know how long my voice is going to last, I am here, I am going to record. My housemate has been taking all these random days off. It doesn't make any sense. You know, generally you'd take a full week off, go back to work full time the next week, but he's been taking like random Mondays off, random Fridays off. This week's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I never know what's going on. So I'm on my own for the moment, so I'm going to record. I am here. I do have a Strepsil in my mouth, just so if I look weird or I'm doing something with my mouth, that is why. I've been sick for probably the last 3 days. Yesterday I was feeling better, today I'm feeling worse again. So my throat is very, very scratchy today. I'm bursting out in random coughing fits and all sorts. So there'll probably be even more cuts in this episode than usual because I'm going to probably be coughing and having to have drinks and blow my nose. So just bear with me. And speaking of cuts, I'm going to try out a new editing software for this episode. It is a new one that I have come across. It seems to run a little bit better on my computer than what I have been using, so hopefully that means it will speed up the editing process. It has a lot of fun titles and transitions and things like that, so I'm keen to give it a go and see how it all works out. So if things look a bit different in this episode, that is why. I'm trying out something new. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts if you like it. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments. But yes, it's a very dark, very cold day here today. My fingers, I'm sitting here with my hands like this because my fingers are freezing. I'm wearing my winter's beach cardi, and you'll probably notice that it has been quite well worn. I'll try and block my, oh, I think that's my phone. You can probably see there's lots of pilling and things coming off it because I have worn it a lot. The arms are very stretched out. You can see how much I've stretched out the arms. So this has been getting a lot of wear. The cashmere in it is lovely and soft and cuddly and snuggly. So the last few days when I haven't been well, I've been wearing this a lot. So I'm really enjoying my winter's beach cardi, and I kind of almost want to make another one, even though the cables in this were a huge slog. And honestly, I need to have a mindless project at some point, because I will, you know, sharing with you what I have today, virtually none of it is simple. So I think I'm very soon going to need to have a plain, no cables, no lace, nothing kind of project. I mean, one of these should be basic, but of course I've done something extra on it. But anyway, maybe I'll just get into it, because like I said, I don't know how long my voice is going to coughing fit. Like I said, I don't know how long my voice is going to last. So I might as well just get straight into it so that we can get this done. I've got something for you guys. I felt so bad about not being able to record, but with all my house buying stuff and my housemate being really random, I just haven't really had the chance. So I have been thinking about filming every day. It just hasn't been working out. So I'm going to blow my nose and then I'll get on with my finished objects for this episode. Okay, first up, I'm going to talk about something that you have seen before. My picnic blanket socks. I did finish them. So these were the second pattern from the Handmade Sock Society by Helen Stewart. And I'll try and get that to stop focusing on my face so that you can see them. So these were knit from my own yarn. This is my cashmere sock base, and I yeah, just dyed it up in this speckly kind of slightly variegated colour, and then the contrast heels and toes were just the same dyes, just at a heavier what do you call it, I'm probably going to not know words today, a heavier concentration. So it's virtually the same yarn, it's just a stronger concentration. So yeah, I have finished these. These actually took me quite a while, and I don't know why, especially seeing they're mostly vanilla socks. Apart from, I mean, once you get past these little seersucker sections on the leg, it's just basically a stockinette sock. So I'm not quite sure why these took me so long. Probably because I was working on other things, more than likely. I am a little bit of a magpie sometimes, even though I'm getting better at that with my knitting. But yeah, I mean, it was a great pattern. It was fun. I really enjoyed using this yarn. I liked watching the way that it knit up. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm probably not going to be overly descriptive today, because that would mean I would need to use my brain. So yeah, my picnic blanket socks are finished. I really enjoy them. I haven't worn them yet. I kept them nice and pristine for the vlog. And yeah, I guess I'll show you the next pair of socks that I've finished. Okay, the next pair of socks are this third pattern from the Handmade Sock Society. So these I have not got on blockers because you wouldn't see the lace properly if I did. So I, again, dyed up some new yarn. This one I think I'm going to call turmeric because it is very turmeric-like. But this one has these awesome lace, like, what do you call them, patterns that look kind of like bees. So yeah, they're called the Wild Bee Socks. Hopefully you can see that there, like the center looks like the little stripy body of a bee with some wings coming up. I actually knocked these out pretty quickly. I did end up being able to memorize the lace pattern on them, so that really sped things up a lot. Because I could just do it from memory. Obviously, I didn't need to check anything. And this again has the rounded toe, as like the picnic blanket socks that I spoke about. If my camera wants to focus on those. No, it does not want to, but I guess you can kind of see the shape anyway. But yeah, I knocked these out pretty quickly because I knew that this week, the 6th, so probably tonight, the update for the 4th pattern will be out. So I kind of wanted to get these done so that I would be ready for the 4th pattern. However, I've been kind of matching the the yarns that Helen used in her socks for the Sock Society. So she used a green for the first one, I used a green. She used like a speckly yarn for the second one, I used a speckly yarn. She used like a yellow for the third, I used a yellow. However, the 4th pattern is green again, and we all know how I feel about green. So I don't particularly want to use green again, especially so soon after knitting that first pair of socks. So, and being sick as well, I do not have the inclination to go and dye some yarn. I just kind of want to curl up in my armchair and dye for a little while. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I've been looking at my stash, and the yarn that Helen is used for the 4th pattern is a semi-solid, and I don't actually have a lot of semi-solids left. I've been through and culled a bunch of my yarn, like put it on for D-stash. If you're interested in any D-stash yarn, it is available on my website for 20% off at the moment. There's literally 20% off everything in my shop at the moment. If you're at all interested, go and help me out with some D-stash. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I'll have to go back through my main stash container and see if there's anything in there that will work. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what colour I will be using. I might go through my shop stock and see if there's anything sort of a semi-solid in there I can use. But yeah, for now I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might do that a little bit later today so I can wind up my yarn and have that ready for when the pattern is released tonight. And I last little note on these socks is I actually did do the heel flap as written, so it's the Eye of Partridge heel flap, because I'm beginning to appreciate the heel flap again. It is how I used to knit my socks when I first started. You know, I think most people start with a heel flap, honestly. So I have been kind of going back to it, and I do like, I've been noticing the fit of my socks, so this is going to be a bit of a tangent. A lot of my socks that I knit, obviously for a very, very long time, have had the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And I've been noticing that I think I need to actually knit my socks a little bit longer using the Fish Lips Kiss heel, because it is a little bit more shallow. It doesn't have that big gusset decrease section. So I'm finding a lot of my socks with the Fish Lips Kiss heel, I'm only knitting my foot to the same length that I would for a heel flap, and obviously that's making my socks a little bit small for me. So I've been wearing a few socks that I've knit with a heel flap recently and realized how much better they fit. They don't slide down my foot as much as the Fish Lips Kiss do, and I think that's simply because I haven't been knitting the body of my foot before the toe long enough, because I'm a top down, long enough with the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So that is something that I'm going to have to pay attention to in future socks where I use the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but that is something that I have noticed of late by simply wearing my heel flap socks. But yeah, tangent over, I guess. I'm going to again blow my nose, and I'll get on to what are still works in progress. Okay, so first up in my works in progress is my Husbeast cardigan. So I have had this on the needles for quite a while, and it is now looking like a cardigan. So I actually have a body and I have some sleeves, and it's basically a cardigan. However, it does still need, ooh, I just found a needle just dropped out of the cardigan. It does still need its button band done, and I've been putting it off, and I've been working on other things because it's a little confusing. I've never done a button band like what is being suggested in the pattern. This is the Hey Handsome cardigan. I can't remember who wrote the pattern. It is a Yarnspiration, I think, free pattern. And I did find, I mean, it's not the best written pattern, I don't think. It's kind of not up to I don't feel like it's up to the standard of what we have come to expect from knitting patterns. You know, the lovely detail, the huge thought about making things symmetrical and things like that. I don't feel like it's not that level of quality, but then again, it is a free pattern, so you kind of take the good with the bad. It got me to a point where I have a cardigan, so it is a gabled cardigan, as you can probably see there. I am knitting it out of Bendigo Woolen Mills. This is their Bendigo Tweed. I think this is called Dusty Plum, the colourway. It's like a purple. Simon enjoys wearing purple, so he picked this colour. It looks quite grey in my viewfinder, so I'm not sure how it's coming out on the actual video, but it is a purple. It's a very sort of dusty, dark, almost grey, like kind of a little bit of an eggplanty colour. So yeah, the way that they want you to do the button band and collar, it's I believe it's a shawl collar, because I wanted Simon to have a shawl collar cardigan, because guys in shawl collar cardigans are just hot. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, I've never done a collar like this before, so if you have, please give me your tips down in the description. Not the description, the comments. That's where you guys write. The description is where I write. Basically, the instructions say to cast on, you know, however many stitches in rib for the button band, and then knit it like as a flat piece of knitting, and then once you get to a certain point, you are supposed to seam it on to the edge, like the front edge of the cardigan, stretching as you go to fit. And I don't know what that means. Because when you think of like, you know, you get patterns that you actually pick up the button band and you knit it horizontal, like perpendicularly from the way you have knit the cardigan. I know that you pick up, you know, say 3 out of 5 stitches and things like that to kind of stretch it out. But yeah, I don't really, there's no clues as to how, like what ratio I want to use, of how many stitches I want to seam over how many stitches or anything like that. And it's like, well, how much am I supposed to stretch it? Yeah, like you could stretch it super far or you could stretch it slightly. It's like really no sort of direction on how to do that. So if anybody has any inspiration or help that you could give me, please let me know in the comments, because I wanted Simon to have this done before winter, like have this cardigan finished before winter this year, and we are already in May, so we are getting close to winter. And it's just this button band has been stopping me from finishing the cardigans. I really would like to get it done, but I'm just so thrown by this instruction and I really don't know what to do. So please let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. But yes, he has basically the shell of a cardigan. It just needs the button band done and some buttons. So yeah, it'll get done. I'm sure you'll see this being a finished object if I'm able to film in the coming weeks. Who knows? But yeah, he has a shell of a cardigan, so that's something, I guess. So this next project is one that I've had on the needles, I think, since 2018. It hasn't been blocked yet. I only finished it yesterday, I think, or the day before. And it's not entirely finished. It still needs a fringe added to it, which I will show you in a moment. But this is called Oakwood. When I first started knitting it, it was called the Oakwood Poncho. It's a Knit Picks pattern. And they've changed the name on the website to Oakwood now. I don't know why. I don't know whether because poncho is considered a cultural appropriation, maybe, because it's not technically like a classic poncho. But yeah, it is big. I don't know how I'm going to show it to you. It's basically like a schlanket, I suppose. And like I said, it's not been blocked, so the edges are still curling and things like that. But it's basically, you knit a back piece, which is this here. It has a contrast little stripe at the bottom. And then you knit like front flaps, essentially, off the front, and then it has like this intarsia section. So this was actually my first time ever doing intarsia. I've never done this before, and according to the instructions, they just get you to pull like the yarn across. Like, you don't need to break the yarn and reattach it every time you're going to start one of the steps. You just kind of like, you know, hold it in the back. So yeah, it has this stepped sort of pattern on the front, and I actually bought this as a kit from Knit Picks back in, it could have even been, I think I got this kit at the end of 2018 when I did some ordering. I think I did actually vlog that. I did some ordering online. I think I had an Eat Sleep Knit order and the Knit Picks order. So yeah, and I think I cast it on not long after I got it. So I finally finished the knitting on it. This is actually like a collar piece too that is picked up and knit to kind of, and it kind of knits two together with the front collar just to sort of bring it around a little bit. But basically what I still need to do on this is put like this tassel on the end. So it's basically just cut 10-inch pieces of, I did this like when I first knit it just so I could see how it worked. They're 10-inch pieces of yarn that you just kind of, I don't know if you can see it, you just kind of hook it through and loop it. So I need to cut the rest of the pieces of yarn and loop them through like this. They do say to do it after blocking, but like I said, I did this as a bit of a test right after I finished knitting some of the back piece. So I don't know whether I'm going to need to remove these to block it or what, but I think I need to cut like 350 pieces of yarn, like 10-inch pieces of yarn. So I think that's going to be a few evenings worth of just having, you know, my template in front of me and cutting 10-inch strips of yarn. So yeah, I did have this out to block, but then I thought, oh, I'm going to film today, so it hasn't been blocked yet. But it is finished, and I have been wearing it. The day I finished it, I popped it over my shoulders and was just sitting, wrapping my hands in the big long front pieces. It has like a brioche portion on this front collar here is actually brioche. I don't know if you can quite see that. But it makes it super squishy and super warm. So I was just tucking my hands in the front of like the collar piece. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really glad that it's off the needles because it has been on the needles for a really, really long time. So now the next step is, like I said, just doing that fringe and giving it a block, and that'll be finished completely. So really technically that should have been right between finished objects and works in progress, because it's kind of finished, but it's kind of not. But yeah. It was pretty simple actually. It was quite fun to knit, and like now I've done intarsia, so I guess I learned something. And the final the final project that I have to show you is another one that's been on the needles for a really long time. This might be a little bit tricky to show you because I have 4 balls of yarn coming off it. Like I said, this is the one that should technically be easy, but because I'm a masochist, I've made it more, I don't know, what's the word? Intricate? Complicated? One of those words. Because I've had this yarn in my stash for a super, super long time. I was looking at the project page for this yesterday when I dug it out, and it has been on the needles since April 2019. So it's been on the needles for 2 years. And the pattern is the No Frills Cardigan. So if you've been following for any length of time, you know that I love my No Frills sweaters, and I've knit 2 of those. But this is the No Frills Cardigan. So it's a super long cardigan with pockets, and again, like the No Frills sweater, it is knit, I don't know if you can see the halo, but it is knit from mohair with a fingering strand of yarn. And I shall turn it around. So this yarn is some Knit Picks yarn again, and I had this is the gloss fingering, I think it's called. It's the one with the silk in it. And I had these 3 colours because I was going to, I actually bought it because Voolenvine knit was knitting a TinCanKnits blanket, which was, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it in the down bar so you can see the name of the pattern. But she was knitting one of these TinCanKnits blankets out of these colours. So I purchased the same colours because I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. I want to do that too. And then I ended up making some hand spun, which I decided to make into the blanket. So I thought, well, I don't need 2 of the same blanket. So I've just had this yarn sitting in my stash for ages. And so I finally decided to crack it out into this No Frills cardigan. So basically what I did with this, if you've been following the vlog for a really long time, you probably remember this. I got out my thinking cap and I got out a spreadsheet and I did a swatch, and using something that I learned from a Rohan Knits in one of her, I don't know where along I found it, but she does this thing where she makes a swatch, counts the stitches and weighs the swatch. So she finds out how much each stitch approximately weighs, and using that and knowing how much yarn that I had, I worked it all out on how to do like stripes in this cardigan. So I have 3 colours, as you can see here, this dark grey, this sort of lighter grey, and then this pink. And I am using some of my own hand-dyed mohair. So I dyed, I think it's my graphite colorway. It's just like a grey mohair that I'm holding with all three, so it's kind of toning down the contrast, even though obviously it's very contrasty. You can clearly see that there's 3 different colors in there. It just kind of tones it down and smooths it out. And so yeah, I did this huge spreadsheet and I worked out that I needed to do like 80 rows of of each of these 2 colors, and then once I get to the 80 rows of the pink, I'm going to just continue with the dark grey down to the bottom. So the dark grey section is going to be longer than the other 2 sections because it's going to have ribbing section as well. But yes, I picked this up again yesterday, and yeah, it is tricky because like I said, I have to make everything complicated apparently. And obviously because I have the bands in this dark grey and the body in the pink, I'm having to do basically an intarsia technique where, I mean, technically maybe I'm lying about that other project being my first intarsia. Maybe this is considered intarsia, I don't know. But if I can get that to focus, yeah, you might be able to see there that I'm twisting the yarns together. Just so it creates one piece of yarn, knitting instead of being 2 separate pieces of knitting. I'd be screwed if I didn't twist them together. So yeah, technically this could be my first intarsia project. But yeah, I am working on this again because I sat there for a few days. My Wild Bee socks were finished. I didn't want to work on Simon's cardigan because I'm afraid of the button band. I had finished my Oakwood, which I had pulled out to work on, so I sat there for a couple of days with nothing to do, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to dig through some more of my whips, and I found this. So I would love to have this done by winter, because it's like, you know, everybody, if you've ever worn a mohair, like, you know, a project worked with mohair, you know how warm it is. So yeah, I'd love to have this ready for winter. So I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more of this. This is the only thing I'm working on at the moment. I guess until the pattern for the socks comes out tonight. So that's it. That is it. I have shared everything that I've been working on in the last few weeks since I've been missing. So if anybody's interested, I can have a little bit of a chat about other things that are happening. If you don't want to stick around, that's fine. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. But yeah, house stuff that is moving. We offered and were accepted on a house, so we are currently waiting to hear if we've been approved for our loan. We should be hearing something either today or tomorrow, because yeah, that's what they've been working to. That's what they said they're going to work to. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting on tenterhooks. I figure the fact that we haven't had a no yet means that we'll probably be a yes. My mother-in-law keeps telling me no news is good news, so hopefully she's right. So yeah, we should hear that in the next couple of days, which is pretty exciting. I really hope that we get approved because I really like this house. And yeah, so that is something. We won't be moving until at the latest the end of August, early September probably, because there is tenants in the house, so we're not going to just buy the house and keep them out, because we have been tenants in houses where it has been sold and they are kind of pretty rude, the new landlords, so we don't want to do that to the current tenants. We are going to let them pretty much, we're going to tell them that the lease will not be renewed, obviously, because we want to move in, but we're going to give them the freedom to leave if they find a suitable place. In the meantime, they're free to break the lease if they want to and go after a new property. So we're going to make sure that they are advised of that, and because we were told that verbally once before, and then we didn't get it in writing, and then there was issues with getting the new property because we didn't have it in writing in our file. So I want to make sure that they do not have to deal with that. if they do choose to leave early. So yeah, that is the house thing. And I had some news yesterday regarding my health. So if you remember probably the last episode, I spoke about having a low thyroid and being on thyroxine. I recently had a blood test, and it was to test for antibodies in my blood. And turns out I actually have Hashimoto's disease, which was probably likely anyway because I did have the low thyroid. So yeah, they did detect antibodies in my blood, which basically means that I have, or Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, if you're not aware, where your body, you know, creates antibodies against itself. So it's been attacking my thyroid, which has made it go low. So yeah, basically at this point in time, I just have to keep taking my thyroxine. And apparently it was caught early, so that pretty much means that I've probably dodged a bullet as to other health issues that can be brought on because of the Hashimoto's. So yeah, I'm glad that it was found early, and I can avoid any further complications of having the condition. So yeah, just keep taking my thyroxine and I should be fine. So I might leave it there. I'm going to be recording another Patreon video a little bit later, so keep an eye out for that if you are in my Patreon. If you're interested in learning about my Patreon, there is a link in the description. Go and have a look. It's only a couple of bucks a month. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So for my patrons, I will catch you in another video shortly, but for everybody else, thank you so much for watching. Please do give it a like if you enjoyed, and remember to subscribe if you really loved it. And please share with your friends, maybe even if you think they would like my videos. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all very well, and happy knitting, happy crafting, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.